What's up, folks? This is Justin from Books, Bricks, and Boards. The video today is called Basic at its Best. I'm going to be talking about Dungeons & Dragons in its most basic forms. D&D in its most basic forms has been around for over 40 years now, and whatever variation you play, any of the 20th century versions of D&D are almost completely compatible. You can sit down at the table and use monsters from an AD&D book with a BX adventure. That being said, there are degrees to this, and there are some versions that I find preferable to others. So what I'm going to talk about today are the 5 best variations of basic D&D. That would be the 5 best 20th century D&D variants. Let's get into it. Number 5, Survive This. Published by Bloat Games, written by Eric Bloat. Survive This has the following advantages. The system is a combination of BX house rules that Eric used in his home games. That results in simplified rulings in some areas and more depth in others. The end result is very playable, if a little bit kit-bashed. What it adds. Survival is an attribute, which is a meta currency allowing rerolls. There's different saving throw categories that are less ambiguous than some in the original BX. The different variations of Survive This have very unique and unusual class options, which make the BX game into a Rosetta Stone for several different genres. The XP tables and accumulation are a large departure from the traditional BX accounting. Where does it fall short? The thing that makes it unique is also largely what makes it feel a little uneven. Eric clearly grabbed rules from different variations of the game and added them to the BX core. This occasionally made me forget what rules were done by BX methods and which were changed. The Survive This system is expanded and re-implemented by the Fantasy Survive This, Zombies, Vigilante City, which you see here, Dark Places and Demogorgons, which also has an old school Essentials version, as well as some others. Coming in at number 4 we have Labyrinth Lord, published by Goblinoid Games, written by Daniel Proctor. The advantages. A mostly faithful recreation of BX D&D, with differences in XP tables and some class abilities being changed, most notably clerics getting spells at level 1, which I don't think anybody has a big issue with. There are free PDF versions that lack the art. There's also a second edition, which is currently in development. The stat blocks are exceedingly similar to TSR D&D. What does it add? Well, AD&D classes and races with Advanced Labyrinth Lord, though no races class versions of the AD&D races. One of the more complete bestiaries for BX, with a lot of nice sketch art for different baddies. Where does it fall short? In terms of layout, it is very reminiscent of TSR D&D, and that isn't always a good thing. As compared to other modern takes, it is pretty ugly in terms of actual layout. Whereas most BX retro clones have either went with ascending AC or gave an option, Labyrinth Lord only offers descending, rules as written. Expanded or re-implemented, Labyrinth Lord is available in an advanced version, Mutant Future, and Apes Victorious, as well as others. Number 3, Swords and Wizardry Complete, published by Mythmere Games, written by Matt Finch. The advantages. Starting from white box instead of BX makes everything about Swords and Wizardry feel a little bit different, from the stat bonuses to who can benefit from them, to some of the individual classes. It stays very true to the source and offers optional takes from several sources of OD&D expansions. What does it add? Well, there's several classes inspired by the official OD&D expansions, as well as the Zines and Dragon magazine articles of that time. It has a unified saving throw system that is simplified from the original but achieves the same goals. Several optional variants to the common rules, along with explanations on how and why you should implement them. Where does it fall short? Well, because it starts with OD&D as a base, some common features of games rooted in BX will be slightly different. In trying to offer a toolbox of optional rules, It also may cause some gamers to be a little bit confused about choosing a path, and it might be a little bit overwhelming for them. It's expanded or re-implemented by White Box, Core, Complete, Complete Revise that you see here, Crypts and Things, and many more. Number 2, Worlds Without Number, published by Sine Nomine, written by Kevin Crawford. The advantages. Worlds Without Number is available for free in PDF with art, has a very thorough section on world building, and is chock full of tables and charts for random content creation. It has a simplified class setup, flattened ability mods, and a very clean take on BXD&D. What does it add? Worlds Without Number simplifies classes to Expert, Warrior, Mage, and Adventurer. Customization comes in a robust skill-focus edge system. The attribute generation is unique and has several options, with attributes further modified by backgrounds. Also, the magic system is much more freeform, and mages cover all casters. Stat blocks are the simplest in BX. While Worlds Without Numbers starts with BX, it strays very far from the roots. Between rules of play and creation, I would say that characters created in the Worlds Without Number series are at least 1 or 2 levels higher as far as effectiveness than in a traditional BX game. That said, I have run straight BX modules with Worlds Without Number with no problems. It's expanded or re-implemented by Stars Without Numbers, Cities Without Numbers, Wolves of God, and Scarlet Heroes number 1, Old School Essentials, published by Necrotic Gnome, written by Gavin Norman. The advantages. Most faithful recreation of BXD&D. It even explains why they chose which versions of conflicting rules from the original. It has the best layout possibly of any RPG, definitely of any OSR RPG. The OSR art sets the mood. Great physical production values with strong bindings and covers. What does it add? Old School Essentials Advanced Fantasy adds all the AD&D classes and races and BXifies them. Great care was taken in trying to create very faithful recreations of the AD&D classes while also trying to keep them balanced to the other BX classes that already existed as is. Gary did not seem as concerned about balancing the classes that he added to the advanced game. Also, with the addition of the AD&D races, you have the choice of using them as separate choices within the character creation process, that being separating race and class, or BX-inspired races class options for all of the races that were in the AD&D game. Where does it fall short? Old School Essentials has a confusing product line and is a bit more expensive than some of the other options, but you definitely get what you paid for. Expanded or re-implemented by Dark Places and Demogorgons, Advanced Fantasy, and the boxed versions. Also, it should be noted that the base rules are available in the Classic Fantasy Rules Tome or in the separated Advanced Fantasy Player's Tome and Referee's Tome. The Player's Tome, Referee's Tome for the Advanced Fantasy game have all of the rules from the Classic Fantasy Rules Tome, but also add all of the additions of the AD&D game. And those were my top 5 ways that you can play 20th century D&D in the 21st century. If you did enjoy the content, please look through my catalog. There's probably going to be some other videos that you're going to like as well. But until next time, this has been Justin from Books, Bricks, and Boards. Good gaming, and God bless.